What is up, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. I took this old girl out today because I never freaking drive this car anymore. And we actually need to swap some parts off this car onto this car and figure out why we're having issues with this car. So when I got this thing, it did not have a head unit in it. I put a head unit in, wasn't getting any sound from the speakers, realized the factory amp from underneath the seat was gone. So I bought a factory OEM Mitsubishi Fosgate amp, got that installed, still no sound from the speakers. I checked all the fuses, everything's good there. I'm worried that the head unit is bad or the amp is bad. They're both 2008 SSS models, both with the Fosgate system. So first thing I'm gonna do is swap out the head unit because it's easier. I know that one works because I use it all the time. So we'll pull the head unit out of there, put it in here. If that doesn't change anything, I'm gonna pull the amp out of that car, put it in here. If that doesn't change anything, it's probably a wiring issue. We're also gonna retune this car real quick. It's just a simple full bolt-on setup and it's gonna make like 350 wheel. It's already tuned by a different tuner and I know the car can run better, so I do need to get this thing retuned, and Chag, my mans, is gonna be taking care of that for us later on today. So first off, let's get the audio working. Hopefully it's something easy. Well, the issue is clearly the head unit. I believe the head unit that I had in the car, I think that was out of a non-Rockford car, and I think they require like a different canvas little box. I do have a different head unit, a brand new, nice touchscreen. It ain't quite as big as the one that's in this car, but it's a nice Android unit that we're gonna install in this car. All right, so this here is the head unit we're gonna be installing, made by iDoing. We just threw one of these in the hatch and have not had a single issue with it so far. So I decided to pick up the same exact one. I made sure to grab the Rockford Fosgate compatible one. Now we obviously know that Fosgate and non-Fosgate require, pretty sure it's just a different harness with this little box right here. It's just gonna go right down in there. They supplied the hardware for it with a screwdriver. And then all the stuff here, I don't really ever use just because it has CarPlay, so I just use GPS right off my phone. So I don't use the GPS that's included. Here is the microphone if you're gonna talk in the car. Of course, with a Loudy with 10 you can't. And then a bunch of other stuff like USB plugins. I always install all that stuff, but I never use it. So I'm not gonna install it today. I find it pointless on a loud car. Let's go ahead and get this thing fully secured and get this bad boy in the car. One thing I did forget is the vents. The vents are once again back at the house. I did grab the hazard switch, but you need the vents off your factory bezel. Head unit's in, but it's not working. It's not turning on at all. Interesting. Since the head unit itself is the same, I'm gonna plug it into the STI real quick and see if it's a head unit issue or if it's something on the car, but we just had a different radio in here and it worked just fine. Something funny's going on here. Never mind, the wiring is completely different on the tube. I thought for some reason it's the same plug-in, but it is not. So I've checked everything I could think of. I'm not sure what's going on with the head unit. I think it might be faulty. Kind of funny, I was just ranting about how nice they are, but I think I got sent a bad one. As you can hear it turn on, it'll start like whining when you plug it in, but nothing comes up on the screen. There's a fuse on the back of the radio, that's fine. All the fuses, everything with the car is fine because if I put the old radio back in, it works fine. Something with the unit's bad. But we need to go Datalog this thing, get this drivability down, start doing some third gear pulls, and see what this thing can do. All right, so I went ahead, got the base map loaded on the 10. When drove it, Chag let me know that there's something going on with the car, exhaust leak wise, because the wideband is showing much different than what he was expecting. So I got it up in the air, lo and behold, so this is our wideband sensor here. Top of the test pipe right here is cracked. So I need to pull the test pipe off real quick. You guys see that weld? I'll show you better when I get it off the car, but that is cracked and a massive air leak right in front of our wideband or anywhere before the wideband is gonna throw off your readings substantially and it will show much leaner than the car actually is. So let's get off our parent test pipe and get this old girl welded up. I know my welds are trash, but that'll get us back on the road. 2 drivability logs later, car's all done there. Now we have to go do a 3 to 7K RPM pull. Probably gonna do 3 or 4 of those, and this thing will be fully tuned. I actually did get a hold of doing the head unit manufacturer, and they're just gonna send me a new head unit for the car. So I'm guessing it's just a bad unit. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. We have 3 things to finish up on the hatch before it hits the dyno here hopefully within the next week, maybe within the next few days. We'll see. The 3 things are: number 1, we gotta change the oil, cut the filter, make sure we don't have any internal engine issues. I know we're good there. I'm confident. Second thing is we have that fuel level issue, so I need to pull the hanger, see what's going on there. Third, the car is running very, very warm. No matter what, the lower radiator hose never gets warm. That leads me to believe the thermostat is bad, which is kind of ironic or kind of crazy because it's the same thermostat that was with the old motor and we never had that issue. But I did go ahead and pick up a new thermostat for the car, so I think I'm gonna tackle that first. I was seeing all the way up to like 220 to 230 coolant temps today, which is way too high. Don't want to pop a head gasket already. That would suck. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain the water out of the car, swap that thermostat into it. I just got one at O'Reilly's. It's got a lifetime warranty on it. So that should hopefully take care of our issue. I don't know what else it would be. This is exactly why I like to run water right off the bat. This is all coolant, I'd be pissed. It's all water, so I'm not pissed. Here's our thermostat, takes about 30 seconds to remove. Let's throw in another new thermostat, put water back in it, make sure we don't have any ridiculous coolant temps, make sure the thermostat's actually opening, and then we can go ahead and swap out the water for some antifreeze. I've never had issues bleeding a coolant system before. I started making some good progress with just water, so I know I can get it bled out. I think one main thing is I need to get the ass end down, the front end higher up, and that's gonna help a lot. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull the water out, or I'm pulling the water out now, and I'm gonna put the Subaru coolant back in it, just so we don't spend a ton of time bleeding water and then just drain it right back out. All right, this thing is all bled out. As you can see, it's not bubbling around in there anymore. So we're all good there. Coolant temps are good. They stay around 190. The biggest difference is having the front end up in the air, and then holding it. Bader gave me the little suggestion of holding it at 3,000 RPM, and that sped up the process a ton. So if you guys are having issues with that, get the front end up in the air like we have here, hold the RPMs at 3,000, and a couple minutes later, it'll be bled out. Let's go ahead and change the oil now. Well, we didn't make a mess with the coolant, but we got a little splashy on the oil because it's so warm from bleeding the coolant system. It's pretty much like water right now. That's how thin it is. It'll be all right. Let's cut that filter. There's gonna be a little bit of stuff in there. As always, with the brand new engine, as it's breaking in, stuff wears a little bit, but if there's like big copper flakes and whatnot, you probably have some destroyed bearings. So yeah, let's see what we've got. So there's definitely some stuff in the filter. Nothing that I would be alarmed about. It's a brand new engine. There's gonna be some stuff in there. So happy with that. This whole build is kind of going too good. It started up way too easy. Everything's just going way too easy. But I guess we kind of got all the kinks worked out with the previous engine. It's a straight shot from here on out. Let's figure out the fuel level issue, and we are pretty much ready for the dyno. So I took the hanger out. There's nothing weird going on. Nothing's unplugged. Everything looked fine. I'm guessing the flow was just catching up on something. That doesn't explain why I was stirring a check engine light though for a fuel temp sensor. So I'm gonna put this back together, make sure our fuel level is working fine, and then we can see what is going on with the check engine light. Update, this thing's being sus again. I have the fuel level sender out like this, right? Hopefully you guys can see fine. So it's chilling out of the hanger. It's plugged in, harness is plugged into the top of the hanger. No matter where I put the float at, it's showing a quarter tank on the dash. So what I'm gonna do is I have a spare hanger or a spare float. It's not here at the shop. So tomorrow I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna bring it here to the shop and I'm gonna swap the different float on there. I'm guessing that's gonna take care of the issue. It's weird because I never had this issue before, but this car is just living up to its name. Sus. It is what it is. We made a ton of good progress today on both Sus and Stevo. Sus, Stevo. STI is pretty much ready for the dyno. I'm super excited for that. And the Evo 10 is running better than ever. And we just have to finish tuning it probably tomorrow. Should make 350 wheel. STI should make 500 wheel, I hope. We only have one issue with each car left to resolve. That is the iDoing head unit. And that is the fuel level float, theme bobber. Either way, good progress. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Peace out, my good friends. I will see you guys tomorrow or the next day.